there we go. So we are officially live. God, man. Alright, let's do this. Gunner,
Yes,
are you ready?
I am.
Amber, are you ready?
I guess so.
Candy, are you ready?
I am so ready.
Alright, Trey, you ready?
Yes.
Alright, guys. Come with me on this wild adventure again of another episode of Star Wars D&D, guys. Oh my god. Okay. Let me back it up for you guys, alright? 3 years have passed since the Battle of Dantooine. Due, or as a consequence, for the events that led up to this battle, what was once a sort of like threat in the shadows now comes to the forefront, with the Sith now revealing themselves fully to the galaxy. The Republic, realizing that the Sith threat has enough martial might to invade a planet, realizes their true sort of like danger, and as such has tightened and sort of like kept a strong hold on their core worlds to help prevent against manipulations and infiltrations by the Sith. In doing so, however, their presence in outer world planets has begun to dwindle and diminish, and with the Republic not being as present of a force in these outer world planets, more devious individuals step up to claim these worlds. But it's not all lost, per se, as the Republic is working closely with the Jedi to search out the Sith and eradicate their threat before they can truly threaten sort of like their rule over the galaxy again. Meanwhile, the Sith have to shift their focus from once where they did their plannings and schemes, whispering in the ears, they now find themselves needing to take action in a galaxy slowly turning against them. Here we go. So we pick up on a leisurely scene. Far off, in deep within Chiss space, there is a hollowed out sort of like asteroid that has been made into a military location. It is here the very powerful, beautiful, and illustrious Darth Alia sits surrounded by some of her most powerful and cunning students.
Darth Ali is Chiss?
Hey,
Scroll down here. Here we go.
Excuse me?
Servants come step around, offering drinks and warm foods to the apprentices as they spread about the room. Alia entertains two servants, a scantily dressed woman, and then even more revealing man, as they dance, not too like robustly or like provocatively. Yes, thank you, but just enough to give like a nice sort of like view to the peripheral as she speaks to her students. In this room, we find our own Chandra sitting on her table, sitting at her table as a servant passes by her to the student adjacent from her at the same table. This student has, or this individual has, short cut purple hair that sort of like swoops off to a single side. She wears a sort of like black and sort of like, timely like 1960s like burglar mask across her face. Um, she wears a sort of like black bodysuit, very very tight like black bodysuit that has sort of like frills cut into it and like its like neck section. The servant comes over with a tray of drinks, and this individual takes a drink and then grabs the servant, pulling her into her lap, laughing as the rest of the drinks spill across the ground. Chandra, you know this individual to be Jada Helms. Your time that you spent with her, you've known her to have sort of sadistic side of her. She always seems to be like, she keeps up like a humorous sort of like personality or persona, but you've seen what she's done and you know what she's capable of. That's not funny. Across from you on the other side, you see a fallen woman who sloshes her drink around, a little less than full now, as she sort of like power stances in her chair, just looking about, quiet but present in the conversation. You know this individual, this fallen, to be Laura Kath. She's been your senior ever since you could remember, being under Darth Alia. She's said to have been Alia's first student and is her right hand in her affairs. As this begins, conversation begins to speak up again, and Alia begins to speak. She says, honestly,
CJ got cut off?
Okay, can you not hear me? Hello?
Alia says
Can you hear me?
nothing.
Yes.
Now we
Okay,
can.
alright.
Now
Alright. Alia begins to speak, sighing as she places her glass on the table in front of her. Honestly, since Soren and his foolish children, our jobs have become such a bore. Now all I hear day in, day out is, how can we protect ourselves against the Sith, or what countermeasures do we have against infiltration? The Chiss Council, while powerful, is so skeptical. She looks around with a smile. Jada, releasing the other slave who gets down and starts cleaning up the mess. She just kind of like laughs and she says, yes, well, it's not all bad. Now, we don't have to, at least now I don't have to shift around all the time. She's looking at you, Chandra. She says, you understand, right? Sometimes espionage just isn't enough to give a girl her kicks.
Chandra will Chandra just kind of shrug and yeah, I suppose so, type of deal.
Alia begins speaking again. She says, it's not all that bad. Reiko's mission is finally taking root. That poor fool has just let her whisper in his ear. Have you heard about her report? Have you read her latest report, Chandra? She's looking towards you.
Chandra will thinking back to how she helped Reiko accomplish her mission, she'll say, no, but having helped set her up for such success, I would love to hear how things are going.
Alia speaks and says, Soren's son. She says that with like a real like sort of like distaste. Yeah. Almost completely ruined our plan. But since then, Reiko has turned that once proud, uniting king into a hateful young man. I've heard he's barred Alderaan off from outside visitors, saying that he can only trust those of Aldera. I hear he's also kicked out those Mandalorians.
Ooh.
He's setting up the perfect chance for our true objective, Zerka, to swoop in and make themselves heroes in the eyes of the people, overthrowing a tyrannical king. And in the smoke of our little uprising, Reiko will vanish, and it will be as if she was never there at all. I have to hand it to her. It took a while, but the results are going to be most enjoyable. Across the room, Laura speaks and says, you know, if you need anything, my master, I would be more than happy to get back onto the field. Alia says, no, I need you here. You're the only one who knows all about all of our operations, almost as much as I do. And when I'm busy keeping this, and she whips a hand over her face, keeping up this masquerade for these chiss, I need you here to run our operation. But speaking of our next endeavor, come now, Chandra. I believe our guests have been left waiting long enough. She stands. Before she stands, she chews. The two servants of the wait step back, sort of like taking a place to their side as Alia stands up, looking over towards you, Chandra, to do the same.
Chandra will promptly stand up and go to join her master.
She looks at you and says, I know it's been a while, but I'm hoping that you will be able to handle this issue for me. It's been quite some time, but I trust that you are not rusty.
I would never dream of letting myself become rusty. After all, I must remain capable and useful
She
for you, master.
She leads you down this grated hallway. Below you, you can see the hangar of this sort of like station. Just for clarification, this place is called Heartpoint Station. It is her personal sort of like base of operations out here. You can look down and you can see individuals such as like troopers going around doing ship maintenance. You see a sort of like craft. You're unsure what type of ship come in below you, landing in the hangar below. Alia continues to walk with you up to this door that, this room over here that is past this room to the side. You can see the ray shield protecting you all from the blackness of space just past it. And,
Yeah.
And as Alia reaches for the door, she says, I almost forget. You wear a face for so long, and sometimes she wipes her hand over her face again, and you see the pigmentation of her skin change. What was once like bluish, ashen, sort of like blue skin, transforms into a sort of like caramel, sort of like cocoa color. Her red, just eyes becoming pigmented again with deep brown irises. You can see a number of accents and uh, sort of like makeup being applied as she washes over her face. Her hair changes and turns. Her clothing, what was once like a sort of like black gown or like lingerie like dress, turns to this like almost regal golden golden like flowing sort of like uh, it's not a dress, it's kind of like a pantsuit, I guess is the best way to put it. uh but she has like these golden sort of like accents along her hair as well. As she shifts and changes her form, she reappears in this new guise, and she looks to you and she says, "Are you ready?"
Chandra just kind of just nod and, will nod. Yes, of course. Whenever you are.
Okay. Stepping into the room, you can see again several servants as they walk around offering up drinks and hors d'oeuvres to a number of individuals. Alia begins to walk in, and as they do so, the servants immediately, in the process of serving these individuals, snap and bow as Alia enters the room. She waves a hand quickly, giving room for you to walk in, and giving the cue for the servants to leave promptly. Exit the room. Uh, Around you, Chandra, you can see a number of individuals in this room. One, which catches you by surprise. You know her. You've seen her before. It's been some time, but that is definitely Kiki, the engineer that you met in your last adventure on the jungle planet of Felucia. She does not seem to to have her droid with her. Emo, as you remember the droid, is not currently with her, but you do see her sitting at a table. You both instantly recognizing one another, but past her, past your shock at seeing Kiki again, you see an imposing figure standing back against the wall, arms crossed. Gunner, if you would like to describe your character.
Shit. All right. What are my notes on this? In the back you see a heavily armored individual, rather powerful looking. You can probably tell very quickly. It takes an immense amount of strength in order to be able to properly use a heavy exoskeleton. And this person is fully helmeted and in this armor, which is black with shades of gray. You also notice he's not that tall. But beyond that, you can tell he looks to you and gives you a cursory glance while looking towards the other individual that has walked into the room. That's about it.
Okay. Alia sort of like sways her way into the room, getting in a prime position where everyone could clearly see her, taking a spot adjacent to this other individual in the room here who was sort of like leaning over this sort of like panel, who's sort of killing time. But as you all enter, straight into something. Amber, if you'd like to describe your character or his voice.
Okay, on the other side of the room is a Zabrak woman who is tough and intimidating, just in the complete opposite way of the man on the other side of the room. She's very large for a Zabrak. She's over 6 foot tall and is just bulking. And also in contrast, is not wearing any armor at all. She has like cargo soldier pants on with like lace up boots and lots of pockets and bags hanging off her, and no armor on her torso, just her normal tank top. She is heavily armored. She has both a bowcaster and a large vibro axe strapped to her back. And her hair is very jagged, almost as though she just cuts it with her own axe whenever it gets too long and in her face.
That's a woman right there.
I love it. I love it.
Hey, that's
Me
hot.
too.
That's a woman.
And she sort of straightens up to sort of a perfect soldier attention stance.
Also, Kiki and Chandra, if you guys want to like give your characters like any new descriptions, it's been 3 years. Like I don't know if you guys want like any specific like changes to like maybe their appearance or whatever that might have happened over this time.
This is one thing that caught me off guard because I could have drawn a new avatar with that extra few weeks.
Yeah, I don't know what happened all that time. Bro.
Time flies, right?
Right?
Let me just take a look at my full outfit. You know what? I might redraw her anyway, but for the time being, Chandra's still the same as usual. A bit of a half cloak going down one of her arms, in this case her right arm, as you can see.
Mhm.
Black combat suit, no armor, just clothing for movement, mobility, and minimal amount of protection. Saber hanging from her hip, and yeah, nice crimson skin with her gold adornments here and there.
Nice. What about you, Kiki?
So it's been 3 years since the last adventure. So Kiki would have been, I guess, an adult at this age. So she would be, I guess, a little bit less, I guess, slimmer on the face. And then her height didn't change at all. The only thing that difference is, I guess, her outfit changed a little bit. There is more accessories on her now. Her backpack kind of grew larger. But outside of that, yeah, nothing really changed about her. Still kind of spacey, kind of looking around, just in her own little thought, in the little world kind of deal.
Okay, cool. Nice. We will be sure to like update, pictures and stuff if you guys want to. I've got like a million female just pictures if you want a different picture.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
probably take a look see. Yep.
But Alia, again, just like weaves her way through the room, catching the eyes of you all as she comes to a stop, turning, and sort of like clasping her hands together as she looks at all the individuals in this room and says, "Thank you so much for joining us here today. We, or I should say you all, have been brought here to fulfill a very important job." She sort of like goes to this panel behind you all and presses a few individual buttons, the light sort of like dimming, and from this sort of like center section right here comes up this like holographic display of what seems to be a sort of like mining station. She looks at you and she says, "This is Oasis. This is the Oasis mining facility out on the edges of the outer rim. She looks towards you, Chandra. Our company has recently found that they have halted production. The miners there seem to have unearthed something in which they do not understand, and with it, whatever has happened has halted their production." So she looks towards you all in the sort of like outward display of this place is you see like an asteroid, and what like coming up out of it is like this long sort of like tube that connects to this disc, this sort of like station that hovers over this asteroid. She says, as she says so, the image enhances on this sort of like disc, or this disc like station above this asteroid. She says, Oasis is run by the rather notorious Red Dawn gang. They've recently acquired the mine through aggressive negotiations. But our two businesses have always left a sort of like common ground. But we have not heard anything from anyone in quite some time. You all have been brought here because I believe you all have the skills required to handle this situation for us. She says, your job, to which you all will be paid the amount we previously discussed, is to travel to the Oasis mining facility, find out why they've stopped production, and get them back on track. Looking around at the room, she says, I'm more than confident in your abilities, and we will provide you with your own transportation, as it is quite a bit away. Looking around, she says, if you will follow my representative, pointing towards you, Chandra, she will guide you to your ship. She will be traveling with you all. Think of her as my eyes and ears. Are there any questions? Good.
Kiki raises her hand like 2 seconds
After
after.
she says good.
Yes.
Yes.
Alia just looks at you and smiles and says, yes.
And Kiki would say, suppose that we finish this mission. Do I get paid?
God damn. Never paying attention.
She looks at you.
Delcor, I'm sorry. Oh god damn! I
Oh.
gotta
Who's that?
Delcor.
Oh god damn it! I gotta get.
Where's Del-
Oh, I know how to change that. Okay,
What?
there we go. Okay, all right. So in the bottom left, I look down at my player icon and go, Delcor, fuck. Voda looks pointedly at Kiki after asking that question, kind of tilting his head.
Alia you see her kind of like struggle for a moment. She like, it's like she has to like you see like her hand sort of like tighten, and it sort of like relaxes and releases, and she says, yes, dear. Once the job is completed, I'll be sure that the credits are transferred directly into your own personal account. She gives you a sort of like smile.
And Kiki would be, oh, okay. That's good.
Now then, if you would be so kind, looking towards you, Chandra, she sort of like opened the door, and she waits for all of you to sort of like file out. As you guys do so, though, she reaches to you, Chandra, keeping you inside for just a moment as the rest of you all sort of like funnel out of this room. So like
Scram.
No.
out of the room.
Okay.
It's a funneling.
Kiki's like, nobody's following me. Should I go back in?
Aya comes up to you and she says, the mine is secondary, Chandra. Honestly, I don't care if those mines ever, if they ever pulverize another mineral. But I have a very strong feeling that they've found something that could help us. She looks at you with the hand on your shoulder and she says, you are to acquire whatever they unearthed. And Voda just falls to his death.
Oh, that's a lower level?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Voda
see.
falls to his
I
death.
see. Okay, I understand the map
Immediately.
now. I
Go
understand the
comes
map
back.
now.
It's the end of that.
Okay.
She
Voda's
says,
definitely gonna go look at this ship, though.
I have a feeling this will be very beneficial for not only me, but your sisters as well. She sort of like smiles at you and she says, now then, I need to change faces. I have an appearance with the Just Council very soon. Our agents have told me that the Samosan house is trying to stake its claim. Doing so, she walks out with you, Chandra, and walks with you all down this sort of like graded path. She leads you all down. Let me get you in on this too. Until you guys get to right here. Chandra will take point, showing you guys out, or showing you guys there we go. Showing you guys the way. And Alia banks and goes back to her sort of like room over here. The door closing behind her. And I'll do that. Okay.
All right. Well, let's get this show on the road. Chandra will continue leading the way with no real. Well, no, because they didn't. They described their characters. They didn't introduce themselves much, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So before we do that, Chandra will step off to the side and say, "All right, so as you all have heard from my mistress, I am in charge here. But before we depart, I would like to know your name and your name. You, I would just like for you to say as little as possible."
Does the Brack woman just gives like one short nod? It's Luma.
Excellent, Luma, and
My name is Voda.
very enthusiastic. Well then, Voda, Luma, Kiki, let's go. And she will lead the way.
Yeah, I kind of low-key had the pathway like shine for you all, but the Chandra leading you all through. She leads you guys through the halls of this sort of like outpost. You guys go here to here to here to get to the stairs, and leading you down the stairs to the bottom floor where your ship would be waiting.
Down we go.
All right, our first screen transition. Oh my god! All right. Oh, if I put you guys in the map, yeah.
Hmm?
Here we go. I got it. There we go. Excellent. All right. onto the lower floor. You guys can see a number of. You guys saw this all on your way up with meeting with the Chandra and her illustrious mistress. Um, there are a number of like armed guards here wearing sort of like silver, real shiny, sort of like silver battle gear. They are all very well armed, and they all just kind of like watch as you all led through the room with Chandra. Chandra leading you going down. Yeah, you had it right.
Alright,
Chandra leading you all down brings you to the door leading into the hangar. The door seemingly opens as she just lightly sort of like waves her hand in front of it, and the door just opens up, revealing the hangar bay. Really, here. Okay. As you guys enter, you are approached by one of these sort of like troopers. Comes straight up to Chandra and says, "Here you are. Well, this one right here has been offered to you." As he heads over, he speaks to you as you walk. It's a YT 2400 Corellian cruiser. She's fast, and she'll move on a dime. It's got a lot of space in there as well. The mistress, looking at you, Chandra says, the mistress told me to tell you that you can claim this vessel as your own. She said she had a feeling that she will have a number of missions laid out for you in the coming time. She said you might need a way to traverse through the galaxy more easily. With that being said, the ship needs a proper name.
Oh man, put me on the spot.
Deathbringers Mark II.
Yeah, right. I was honestly considering it.
Oh my gosh.
The Deathbringer.
I don't even remember what the
was-
fuck we named our first ship because of
It
that
was
bullshit
something
with.
really dumb. It
It
wasn't
was so dumb.
Deathbringer, but it was
no,
something
it was something
dumb.
death. Yeah, it was something death or something like that. Oh my fucking god. Never let Nova name anything.
Oh man, that's so good. All right, Chandra will kind of furrow her chin a little bit and think a proper name. Chandra just intentionally looking away from Kiki.
And Kiki started jumping.
She's like,
while
"Oh, for the love
waving
of
her
God,
hand.
what do you want, Kiki?"
And Kiki would say, "Why don't we just name it the Deathbringer?" And then she would wink at her.
Oh, god. Fuck! Fuck. This is gonna take so much getting used to. Voda ever so slightly cocks his head to the side.
Luma in the back just kind of goes, "Heh." And, like, kind of grins, kind of pleasedly, like she thinks that's kind of funny.
Chandra, reluctant to accept any option that Kiki has put forward, will kind of just
And Kiki would say, "No objection means acceptance. Yay!"
Oh no.
Trooper looks to you, Chandra, and says, "So, Deathbringer."
Chandra just slightly disappointed, just
Voda is gonna lean in and say maybe something more inconspicuous.
Indeed, we don't want people knowing that the Deathbringers are among them. Chandra will continue to think for a moment, and she'll say, "Very well. How about no. Oh, no.
The Millennium Falcon.
I honestly considered just throwing it out there, but
That's
no.
a
But no,
Um,
I can't. She'll say, "How about the
Simo.
absolutely not."
The
She'll say, "How about the I don't know, fuck Red Star."
the trooper nods to you all, looking up at the into the ship. You can see that there is a trooper coming down the ramp. Nodding to this trooper coming down the ramp has sort of like this data pad on it, and with the nod, he starts putting something in. He's like, and the trooper in front of you turns back to you and says, "Right, well we'll set the astrogation charts in the navicomputer for Red Star. It'll serve you well, mistress. Do take care." He steps aside.
She'll say, give him a little nod, thank you, and then she will board her ship, the Red Star.
Luma follows behind her and kind of leads in, like, I think Deathbringer was a better name. No one would have taken us seriously. Very inconspicuous.
Chandra, having liked the name Deathbringer for different reasons, will say, "Well, unfortunately, now is not the time to be the Deathbringer."
As you all file in, Kiki, the soldier quickly reaches out to you and says, "Excuse me, miss.
Yeah.
Again, we appreciate your compliance earlier. Our mistress here does not enjoy the company of droids, but we have made sure to put your droid aboard this ship."
Oh, I forgot about it. Cool, thanks.
Oh my god.
Damn.
He just gives you a nod before going back off to his duty as you all board into the ship.
Chandra, having heard that, is just like, "Well, I see you're as aware as ever." And she takes the first step onto the ship.
And then Kiki muttered to herself, "And I see you're as rude as ever."
Okay. Oh man. All right.
Evan Hawk V2.
So as you guys step onto the ship,
Whoa.
Wow, this is
Ooh.
as you guys
this is ooh.
as you guys step into the ship, the loading ramp rises up from underneath you, locking into place, and you guys can start to look around. The ship itself has multiple rooms, quarters. It has as you can see, it has a number of features, including a large storage section, lounging area, escape pods in case things get real bad. The escape pods fit 2 people in each pod, 2 average-sized people in each pod. There's a refresher, and again, numerous rooms. The helm of the ship is this area over here. So this is where you would actually sit to fly the ship. As you guys saw from the outside, it does have a single gun turret that can be either remotely accessed at the cockpit or manually controlled through a sort of port here.
Mm-hmm.
There's a number of systems laid throughout to control these certain events or at least certain sort of like functionalities of the ship. But as you guys step in, Chandra, your first steps aboard your very own ship, mission in hand, what will do?
Ooh. Chandra will spend a moment, take a look around, familiarize herself with everything.
As you
BMO.
as you come in to the sort of like lounge area, you just see a small little droid, sort of like
Forearms.
a small little droid with its four arms and its small feet kind of just kicking back and forth as it sits on the bench. As you come by though, there's an immediate recognition between you and Bimo, and you just hear Bimo just like kind of gasp when it sees you, and you can see the excitement sort of like swelling up on his like portrayed like screen face.
Bimo will run up to Chandra. Be like, I guess mistress, right? Or is it master? Mistress Chandra. It's been a long time.
Chandra, looking down at the small droid, will just say, well, indeed it has. And she'll stoop down and give him a little pet on the head.
And then Bimo will be like, yeah, I still remember that one time that you got that thing exploded all over your face. That was fun.
She'll just disappointed look in her face, just, yes, very. You're no longer allowed on the couch. And she'll stand back up, and as she starts to walk away, she'll say, you're also not allowed in my room. And then she'll continue her adventure.
And Bimo would just tag behind her and say, why not? I haven't explored yet.
She'll say, because I said so, and because if you don't listen, I'll launch you and your master into the atmosphere. Or into space. There we go. What's this room? Is this another living quarters or storage?
So this room houses your navigation charts. This is what this terminal is for. So like
Got it.
any like previous like location the ship has ever been or is going to will be housed here. This is also like the data on the ship, so like who it belongs to, the name of the ship, codes to get into the ship. Like this is like where like your, I guess, cybersecurity quote unquote section would be. It does have like a small cot in there, but it's not an official like sleeping quarters.
Right. She'll just step in, take a look around. All right.
What are the as you step in and look around, what are the rest of you all doing?
Kiki will look for her droid in the opposite direction, not knowing where he is.
I love it.
Luma will walk into this sort of like living room and just kind of like throw herself into one of the chairs and sort of kick back and go, this is already going a lot better than my last job.
Fuck!
It has been
God damn. Oh
3
my
out
God.
of 3.
Jesus H. Christ. Alright, I'll get this. Voda steps into the room. Not long, just before you dived, I guess, into the couch. You dived into the couch. Looks at you, tilts his head a little bit, and walks out.
Nope.
Following what is hopefully Chandra.
That's not me.
Coming up and looking at this, coming up to this droid, looking down at it curiously. Does it do anything?
And then Bimo will look up and say, who are you? I've not met you yet.
I am Voda.
And that's it.
Oh my god. The
Yep.
interactions, oh my god, the interactions are wow. Go ahead, we golden. I can already tell, dude. Oh my god.
Okay, so Bimo will say, "Hi, Master Voda, Voda, Moda,
Voda.
Voda,
Voda.
Voda. My name is
Voda.
Bimo.
Voda.
Voda.
Chandra, you can just hear out in the hallway just Bimo and this armed sort of like helmeted individual just keep going back and forth. Voda, Voda,
Voda.
Voda, Voda.
No, absolutely no emotion creeping into the voice. Just Voda. Absolutely blank. Just Voda. Voda.
It just keeps going back and forth with Bimo.
It sounds like two machines repeating, two broken records repeating themselves back to each other.
Again.
Chandra, after checking on this station and, I don't know, maybe setting a password because it seems important, will
Voda.
exit the room having heard this for a while, and she'll say,
Voda.
"That's enough of that."
Fuck, I was about to say Delcor again. Voda looks up at Chandra, nods.
She'll say, Voda, you go figure out where your living quarters are gonna be. Bimo, you go find Kiki.
Magically, Kiki shows up. Yay! Because
Voda will step past and I don't know, go looking for quarters.
Chandra just rubbing her forehead, just, oh my god. Mistress Alia.
Voda.
Voda. Voda?
Voda?
She'll go ahead and continue her trip, ignoring that Kiki has walked up.
Kiki has
Just-
reunited with her droid.
Mhm.
Okay. You all spend some time sort of like, well, Chandra, you spend some time, and I'm sure whoever else wants to like explore the ship does so. The ship is pretty decent size, especially for a crew for your job. You guys definitely have enough space here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Let's talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk about room and board here. Who wants to sleep where?
Well, since it ain't my ship, I'm Delcor definitely. Well,
Not
Yeah, Delcor
Fuck!
definitely ain't
God
getting a
damn
bed.
Alright, Voda definitely, familiarizes with the ship first, making sure there's only these four quarters, and is gonna go back and find Chandra. Once he does, and we'll discuss this with her actually.
Kiki's already situated.
So Kiki,
You're talking about Galactica.
so the room you're in it's not even like, it wasn't made to be a living quarters. It does have a cot in there, but it's also got like, tools and equipment for like repairs and whatnot. That's what are in those crates. But it could effectively be a living space.
I guess she will move. Darn.
Okay, well, Voda goes to get permission or
Yep.
to figure out. Oh no! I mean, you could stay there. This one,
Oh no, it's cool.
Okay.
I want more comfy space.
Okay.
Voda will walk up. There are 4 quarters. All of them seem to be unclaimed when I found them. Do you have a preference?
Yeah, honestly, I'm like, they all look about the same size except this one. So Chandra's probably gonna take that one.
As Kiki starts putting up like pictures of her family. Starts
Voda will nod and point. Is this is like a tall column, right? Like this is a circular area. I can't see. I can't just like see straight through this.
No. So like
Right, okay, yeah.
this goes straight up. There is like a storage locker, like you can see
Mhm.
here and here, but it
Okay.
does open up into like this this bay
I was
area right
trying to
here.
figure out how I was going to describe which room I'm taking. So Voda will say, I will take one of the inner ring quarters. I'm assuming that's, this inner ring quarters,
Chandra just
and he'll move off.
nods. That's fine with her. She will then make her way to where Kiki is, and stepping in, she'll see Kiki there, and she'll say, "Oh, what are you doing in my room?"
Is she muted?
Oh yeah, I am. Sorry. Oh, sorry. So I was saying, Kiki already is sprawling out onto the cot. She has her little
Boots on the bed.
game console in
God.
hand, and just looked up and's like, I thought this is my room.
Chandra just shaking her head. Poor sweet child. No, of course not. The best room is for me. You.
Yes.
You are free to take any other room. I'm generous. And she will like stoop down a little bit, grab Bimo, and just place him out in the hallway. And then she'll just like gesture. Yeah, you next, There's the door.
Kiki would sit up, and then like stood on the bed, and then step down, and then walk out the door.
Some people.
She has her shoes on the whole time, by the way.
Yeah, Chandra's just gonna take whatever bedding is on that bed and take it off.
Okay.
She's gonna walk over, and before Kiki can get in this bed, she's gonna swap
them
bedding.
out.
Hey, you forgot something.
Oh my god.
Kiki was just struck and was like, "Oh, okay."
So yeah, swap the bedding, and she's gonna return to her room for a moment, set up whatever she needs to, and then she's gonna go and gather everyone up so we can fucking set out.
Okay.
After familiarizing himself with his room, Voda will walk again into the lounge area.
Yes.
Take a seat on the couch, very stiffly.
I love that character trait, man. What is he? He's pretty stiff.
Luma,
I mean, he's
complete
also
opposite.
He also is in a heavy exoskeleton, so he's trying not to like break the seat at the same time.
We gotta keep it in check. Hold that weight together.
Luma is completely opposite. Like, she is like, lounging backwards, like half lying down. She's like, she has like a set of dice in her hand, and she's just spinning them around, and she's sort of looking around the room, like very appreciatively, like, yeah, nice digs. And like, Voda just sits there, like, silently and stiffly for a few minutes before she finally looks over, like, what's your deal?
Well,
Wait.
I know.
I'm not here yet, so that's you two.
Yeah. We're waiting outside the door.
Just
Oh,
looks
no.
at her and then just goes back.
No.
Oh, that'd be so funny. No.
Voda looks over. Yeah, and looks away.
Oh my god.
And after,
I don't know what I was gonna come up with, but I was like, looks over, and I thought I was gonna play like dumb, like looks over at her and go, the only deal I have is with, okay, since Darth Alia was in incognito, like what's my contacts, or what's our, to me.
Yeah, what's our context with Alia? Did we know we're like hired by Sith right now?
No. You guys do not.
We don't know we're hired by Sith. Cool. So what is her name to me?
So all you guys know is that you were contracted by a company, and the representative you were speaking to, her name, I thought I handed this out to you guys, but no, her name is Risa Timbor.
Lisa Timbor?
Risa Timbor.
Risa Timbor. Okay. Yeah. So Voda's gonna look over at Luma and go, the only deal I have is with Risa. Timbor, right?
Yeah.
Timbor, okay. Voda doesn't stutter. But we'll look over at her. Yeah, the only deal I have is right now is with Risa Timbor, and then look away.
Luma just like looks at him for a second and then just goes, "You're funny. I like you."
And with that, Chandra will walk into the room and she'll see Voda stiff as a board and Luma lounging, and she'll just say, "Well, you look comfortable."
Luma sort of like gestures to the room around her as like, "You got a nice ship here, Chandra. I'm looking forward to this job. I have a good feeling about this."
Chandra looking at this ragtag group of ruffians just... Yeah. Well, we're about to take off.
Kiki goes in, bringing her son, sitting on the cot.
As Kiki starts walking, Chandra stops her, like a hand on the shoulder, and she's like, you don't rest here.
Huh?
We're going to go fly.
I don't fly.
You
I
do
think.
now. And she leads her away, and she's like, well, everyone, I'd be ready for a possibly bumpy ride.
You do now. What?
And she
I don't know if it's possible, but Voda gets stiffer.
Kiki looks behind before she leaves the room, and she looks at Luma and will be like, "I hope your feeling's right."
Luma, like not a care in the world, is just like, "Oh, we got a whole gang of jokesters here. Yeah, we're gonna get along just fine." And then she like looks at Voda again, like, "Hey, Fritz, loosen up a little. It's all gonna be good from here."
I sure hope so.
Oh my god. So
we will jump into our respective seats to get on out of here.
The pilot seat is on the left side. The co-pilot seat is on the right side.
Oh.
So who is piloting the ship?
Well, I if you're gonna require any role for this, it ain't finna be me. If we gotta make rolls, you can go ahead and take that.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so
You're sitting on my son.
Sure.
Is
Chandra will stay behind and let them. She'll supervise.
okay, Kiki
Mhm.
with BMO as your co-pilot. Oh
Yes.
shit.
He has 4 arms. He can press all the buttons in the world.
Okay, let's do the first.
Chandra visibly
Zero
sweats.
buttons, please.
Let's do the first roll
Aha.
of the
Piloting
campaign.
roll?
Chandra will assist.
Well, she's already gonna get advantage.
Well,
because
okay,
she
from
has-
BMO.
Yeah.
Cool.
So roll piloting with advantage. Oh, Jesus.
Uh-oh.
I didn't
can't wait
start
to see
missing
this.
Delcor
I
until this
cannot-
very moment.
Yeah,
See?
I officially missed Delcor. Wait a minute. Hold on.
Who's
I
gonna
know-
fly the ship?
I know what my new,
Oh,
new is gonna be. Oh,
I thought about picking up the tray as pilots, but then I was like, no, Kiki wouldn't do that.
You know what? I need that other feat still. I might just take piloting. Have that ground feed and get some piloting. Oh my god.
So, Kiki, taking a deep breath, looks over to Beepo, who starts pressing buttons, looking at Beepo, looking up at Kiki, giving her a nod of reassurance. Kiki, you take the reins of the ship in your hand. The engines ignite up, and you can feel the shift as the ship lifts up out the ground. The ship balance is a little bit off, and as it rises up, it tumbles to one side, and you can hear the as the ship kind of like scratches against the hangar. But you quickly righten it, but it you can hear like it scrapes a bit of against the hangar bay. You can hear
Chandra
some people
wincing in
outside.
pain from that.
Kiki reassures Chandra. It's okay. I can fix it.
You will.
As it comes around, you kind of like whip the ship around as the individuals inside. You can see as the individuals inside leave out of the hangar, getting out of the hangar as the ratios roll, power down, opening up into the vacuum of space. You pretty steadily are able to guide the ship out. It's a little bit shaky here and there as you guys get out, but once you get out of this sort of like hangar, you navigate your way through the many other like asteroids that are like in this sort of like cluster where this base is. You there's a few like nothing like hard is hitting the ship, but you definitely hear some stuff like yeah, like
Put the shields up, please.
like ricocheting out. Yeah, but you guys get past the belt and there's free open space. You Chandra gives you the coordinates to Oasis, and the ship shoots out into hyperspace. It'll take probably about shit space is deep in the opposite direction, boy. So it'll take you guys like 10 hours to get there from here.
Cool.
Okay.
It's gonna be a minute. Hey, we're about to get to know each other really well. Chandra's gonna, now that we have safely made it out and entered hyperspace, Chandra will give Kiki and Pimo a little, Kiki a pat on the shoulder, Pimo a pat on the head, and she'll say, "Good job, don't crash us." And then she will leave out.
That deck save was to see if I fell out of my seat.
You almost, you're stiff. You had to make it a disadvantage. He just tilts to the side. 90 degrees, hits the floor.
Like I just see Voto falls to the floor, ass up. He turns his helmet, it scratches across the ground to look at Luba, and he just says,
No.
"Oh, this is good." So,
Oh, I love it.
with that timeline in mind, you guys are free to do character interactions with each other here. We will do that for as long as before it becomes like a bunch of awkward silence, and then I'll say we arrive at the destination. But if you guys wanted to play out anything or get to know each other a little bit better, now is the time to do it.
Chandra is already making her way back in here. And she will, are these seats?
Yeah.
Alright, she's gonna take one
Swivel
of these
chairs,
seats.
maybe?
Yeah, little swivel chairs. I figured that might be it. She's gonna sit on this one. Because, apparently she likes Luma a little more than Voda. He's a little weird. But she's gonna take her seat and she'll say, "So, tell me a little bit about what you do. How do you find yourself here? How do you fight? What do you?"
I hit stuff.
Yeah, my axe. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Luma shrugs. She has an axe and a bowcaster beside her, and she goes, well, I'm a bit of a close range, heavy hitter sort of fighter."
Chandra, looking at this massive, over 6 foot hulking frame, she'll say, "Yes, I would hope so. You have the build for it.
Oh my god.
Very sturdy woman.
Wow.
Yes.
Actually, I've been working out my body so much, I've been focusing on my brain recently, so my int score's through the roof.
Actually, I have a +0 to int.
Me too.
That would be funny though. And Luma sort of says, "Don't let the muscles fool you, though, Chandra." And she sort of leans in a bit. "I'll let you know just so you're ready when we have a fight. But I prefer to focus on the finer things in life." And she gestures to her big ass axe. "But I do have a a little bit of proficiency with the Force. I have
Really?
some base wizard powers to go with my axe." And then she laughs
Oh
as
my
though
god.
like she made a funny joke, like,
Voda definitely, if they notice it or not, but Voda's definitely looking at them now.
He's just staring straight ahead, but his eyes are on us.
You
I just
you can't
closed
see my
his
eyes. You just see my helmet and like two I don't know, not really
a
viewports.
little slit for eyes or something.
Yep.
I just imagine he's looking. His face is straight this way, but his eyes are
Right, that's what I'm imagining.
over
Oh
here.
my god. No.
Yeah.
His head's definitely turned and he's looking at Luma.
Chandra, noticing her funny joke, just say, "Yes, wizardry. Yes, that's what I would also call it." How about you?
Voda.
Possibly person?
Voda.
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 Yes,
My
Voda.
name is Voda.
Right. What do you, do you even feel? What are you?
Luma like laughs so hard. She's like, "Yeah, what even are you?"
Oh my god.
Bimo would say, Master Boda is not a droid.
No.
Could
no,
have
I am
fooled
not.
me. Well,
So you essentially asked like, are you just asking like, what am I?
yes, she was genuinely asking. Because as far as she can tell, you're a droid, which a little surprising that you're in the room with Alia while being a droid. But hey, she just let it happen. She let it slide that time. She let you look the other way. But as far as she can tell, you're a droid.
Yeah, no, Woo! Okay, good. Voda says, no, I'm not a droid. Or, no, I am not a droid. But I'm not
Right.
willing to share.
Well, I assume you can fight,
Yes.
since you were selected for this. That's good at the very least. I'll just
A small
I'll-
nod.
I'll just take that and leave it be.
I guess I should have described this earlier, but you might have seen a weird sort of hey CJ, how creative can I get with the fact that, I don't know, my heavy shield is on my back, but it kind of like expands. It just looks like some weird, I don't know, addition to my armor on my back, but it's actually my heavy shield, and it sort of like expands into a large heavy shield.
Yeah, so like on his back is like this square sort of like I would say like appendage that links up to like the back. There's like a circular like disc on the back of his suit, and attached to that is this square. But this sort of like metal when he pulls it out, sort of like expands outward and becomes like this massive, almost sort of like Durasteel like riot shield that he uses.
Oh, he's got like a Monty shield. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Sort of
exactly
like
it.
a Monty shield. Sort of like that. Yeah, no, he'll only nod at the, yeah, so you can fight then. He'll nod. That's it.
Luma will sort of like, that sort of like light smack you do on your friend's shoulder with like the back of your hand, like,
Oh my God,
on
no.
Chandra. Be like,
Oh
don't
no!
worry, Chandra. This guy, he looked pretty tough for someone who's that short. I think he can handle himself.
Chandra just staring at her arm where she where she smacked her. She's yes.
Yeah.
Well. I'm just gonna Kiki.
Yeah.
And Chandra will say as she like shifts towards the right end of the seat. It'll lean the other way a little further out of her range. She's like, well, she's just looking at her and then back to BMO and she's like, it's nice to see you.
And Kiki will say, "Oh yeah, it's been nice. Yeah, nice.
Yes. Yeah. Well, she stands up and she's like, feet off the sofa, droid off the couch.
Luma definitely does not move her feet off the sofa.
Chandra's still staring at BMO. And then she looks back over at Luma.
Bimo scooch closer to Voda.
Oh my God.
Voda will look down and then look back at Chandra if she's got anything else to say.
Chandra just hanging her head. Just... She's like, you know what? I'm already tired. For today, I'll let it slide. Tomorrow, feet off the couch, droid off the couch. And she just walks out of the room.
Before you get out, Chandra.
Yes. Rewind.
Oh no, like yeah, you're about there. Estimated time arrival.
She's like, well, it's been a few hours. I'm sure we're pretty close. Perhaps our pilot can fill you in. And she will turn to Kiki and kind of give her like that, like sideways head tilt, like, well.
And Kiki, Kiki doesn't have a watch. Well, okay.
Dungeon Master.
She looks up into the air.
No. Kiki will look straight into Bimo and ask, Bimo, time?
Oh my God, what a chain!
Oh my God. Boop, boop, boop.
I was just about to do that.
Oh my God. No, you guys probably still have like the better half of like 8 hours to go until you're there.
Alright.
Okay.
So
So
Bimo
we're
will
hoping-
just
oh, go
announce
ahead.
that. Yeah, he would just say whatever he needs to say so everybody knows.
So, 8 hours. And she'll be like, well, there you have it, Dota.
Voda.
Voda.
Yes. That.
Voda.
Yeah,
Voda.
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 Chandra's just like, yeah. She looks over to Luma and she's like, can you keep an eye on him?
Oh yeah, sure. We got some time to kill. You want to play a game, Fritz? She like points at Voda.
I'm sorry, hold on. I'm trying to figure out whether or not Voda would actually play a game. Ooh. Nope. Voda will go, no thank you. Stand up and go to his quarters.
Wow.
Luma kind of just shrugs at Chandra like, he did want me to have my eyes on him. I don't know what to tell you.
Chandra just, well, at least he's in his room where he can't hurt anyone. If we survive this, it'll be a miracle. And she just turns to leave unless anyone has anything else to stop me before. No?
Kiki would just say, I'll play a game.
Perfect. Chandra uses that opportunity.
Chandra dips. And Luma goes, oh, great. Introduce me to your little droid first. I like droids.
Oh my god, I love this. I love Luma. I love her so much already.
After she said I like Troy, Remo would just scramble toward Kiki, and then hide behind her.
Forearms sticking out from each side of the legs, or two arms.
Luma just laughs like, you'll come around. I mean you no harm, little droid. You're funny. I like you. And she'll take out. She has like I don't know how to pronounce it. Like a Derek set. Jerk. DJERIK.
It's degenerate.
The Jarek set.
Yeah.
And we could play a little game.
Okay. So Kiki and Bimo stick his head out and say, "I like game too," and then I guess we'll play games. I don't know.
Okay.
Oh no! And thus we are introduced to Luma's gambling addiction.
I had a suspicion.
Woo.
Oh, you could do that if you want to. Chandra, if you
All right, bet.
want to try that, yeah.
Bet.
Oh,
She'll
I
be
gotta
doing
talk
that in the
with you.
meantime.
I gotta talk with you about some character flavor as we go forward after this session.
For me?
CJ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Retiring to your room, more mentally exhausted than physical. You take a seat onto your cot, finally having a bit of silence. What do you want to do, Chandra?
Chandra lays down for a minute, just sits on the cot, and then just plops back, lays there for a moment. She's just, oh, Mistress Alia, what have you done to me? But after that, she'll kind of like, her hand will brush across her lightsaber, and she'll remember having lent one to Aura, and she'll be like, I suppose I should see how she's doing. And she will sit back up and contact Aura via whatever means I have to do that.
Okay. So, resting, you recall the young Padawan all that time ago that you all saved from the Tython Temple before Soren's plans to destroy it. You take a liking to the young girl, teaching her a bit about Sith ideals and telling her not to suppress her emotions, but how to control them. You remember the last time you all spoke, which was a little bit after the battle, the final battle on Dantooine. After which, Ara was the only person to see you off. Of course, someone of your background was not allowed to stay at the Enclave for long after everything was said and done, but you had exchanged communicators before you left, rejoining your master in the deeps, sort of like space. What is she doing? Amber. But
Water.
uh-oh.
Spilled water
Amber's
on my
doing some
keyboard. I'm
math.
just wiping it up. Sorry.
But you, while you all used to talk, not necessarily regularly, but enough, you haven't heard from Ara in a rather long time. And as you call her on your sort of like this communication device, it goes and it goes, but it is not answered.
Chandra just kind of just like still not answering, and she'll hold it and kind of, clench the device a little bit, and then loosen up, sit it down, and she'll say, "Well, no use wondering about it now." And she'll just kind of sit the communicator down and fully sprawl out in the bed for the time being and rest until she's needed.
Okay. Did anybody else want to do any sort of like interaction or talking or whatever?
I'm good.
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 Okay. Rest eventually finds you all. Chandra, your sleep is rather refreshing. The same for you, Voda. Luma and Kiki, you guys spent a while playing different types of games, bonding over that. Luma showing you, different tricks and strategies for a number of different games that you all play before you two both get some sleep.
I would like to just say, instead of going to one of the quarters, I just sleep on one of the fucking couches in the lounge with my feet on it.
God damn it.
God damn.
Okay.
Fuck your couch.
Okay. That is so good, man. Kiki, do you also just crash on the couch? Or like,
Oh no, she's back. Bimo probably will be left behind because he doesn't sleep.
Right. True. Or you can power down, rest, recharge,
Yeah, that's true.
But no, I mean, if you want to be
He'll just stay. Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be so funny. Chandra wakes up, and the only things left on the couch are still feet and the That is so fucking funny.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen as we get closer. We'll
uh,
start to stir and head out.
yeah,
One day she's gonna have a heart attack.
you all slowly begin to wake up. Looking outside, you can still see the streaking blue lights of hyperspace as you guys are getting very close to your destination at this point.
Chandra heading to the cockpit to check on things. She just kind of
What the fuck?
walks in. Fucking what the?
Luma is fast asleep, like she is snoring. She's just like,
Bimo will be like, "Good morning, Mistress Chandra."
Chandra just looks at Bimo and she's like, "Why are you on the couch?"
Bimo has no answer for that.
She was just like, "Can you just come with me?" She tells Bimo to come with, and she will reach out in the force and gently force push Luma onto the floor as she leaves.
to use my saving throw. What's
No,
my saving throw?
I mean you're
There's
You
asleep.
make a
no
saving
saving throw. It's
throw.
a
You're
attack.
unconscious, so you technically fail that.
Yeah, like
Oh, true.
you're asleep. So
Okay, but what if? What if?
What
Hear me out.
Hold on.
Hmm.
Hold on. Like basically, I have like so many things against being surprised as a berserker. Like I have danger sense. Like, come on.
I'm not trying to kill you.
such as traps and power.
I'm just teaching you a lesson.
I'll say that as Chandra calls Bimo and starts walking towards the cockpit, her hand gestures a sort of like swishing motion. You can feel the telekinetic pull grasp around you, and you shoot awake as you fall to the ground. Looking up, you can just barely see the glimpse of like Chandra's like cape as she walks by. You just see Bebo look at you as you fall, and then continue to follow Chandra. But
Um,
you know, you would know that something was used against you. Like you didn't just accidentally fall out of bed. You know you were pushed out of bed.
Yeah. Okay. Luma pauses and then she goes, and then she gets back up and lies back down on the couch.
I like her.
Chandra continues on to the cockpit with Bimo.
Female actually stays behind.
Bimo definitely is coming with, because Chandra will carry him if she has to. And then she's like, all right, you, how close are we?
And Bimo will tell her, how close are we?
You guys are like 20 minutes out.
Alright, 20 minutes out.
She's like, perfect. She'll access whatever voice communications there are, and she'll say, rise and shine, everyone, we're almost there.
Rise and shine.
Over the intercom?
Yes.
Okay.
And she'll say, just to make sure people actually have to get up, she'll say, meet in the cockpit. That way you fucks have to walk.
Luma does sort of get up right away and marches to the cockpit, and she'll just sort of like lean against the wall and watch space as we go.
Okay. The both. I don't know if you were gonna say you guys are gonna show up or not.
11 minutes later, Voda shows up.
Kiki would be the last one.
Minutes.
11 minutes. I don't know if you know this, it takes 10 minutes to put on heavy armor.
Oh.
Put a little flavor. So 11 minutes later, he arrives.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, Kiki's gonna take a
Woke
while.
up immediately, put his armor back on, and then is Kiki seriously gonna be the last one? Even
Yeah.
after that 11 minutes? Okay.
Yeah.
Well then I'll
Yeah, Luma just like rolled right over. She's in the same clothes. She like sort of like flattens her hair down a little bit, and then she
Okay.
Just strolled in.
Sometime
Voda
later,
is standing at the entrance.
sometime later, Kiki arrives as she.
Rubbing her eyes.
Look, the pilot of the ship, last one to show.
Last one to show
Oh
up
my
in the
God.
cockpit.
So good, man.
Chandra looking at Kiki, and she's like, I should handcuff you to the pilot seat.
Kiki said, I stayed up last night playing Galactica, okay?
And she just like looks over at Bimo, suspecting Bimo might be part of it. Seeing that Bimo's the more mature individual, she's like, you keep her on track.
Bimo said no promises.
Anyway, like I said, we're almost there, so we need to get ready for anything. For all we know, we could walk straight into combat the second we get off this ship.
Luma just sort of like gestures to herself like, don't worry, boss, I'm ready for anything.
Yes, well, I'm hoping that you and your wizardry, she says, like really like bland. You and your wizardry can handle everything. And she looks over at Voda, and she's like, well, and you look pretty durable, so hopefully you're also ready.
Voda nods.
And she looks at Kiki and she's like, just land us without killing us.
And Kiki will say, nothing I cannot fix. And she will go, and so is Bimo.
Okay.
I guess I gotta roll piloting again.
Not yet. So
Okay.
the ship, with enough time going by now, the ship drops out of hyperspace, and before you guys can see the floating station connected down into this large sort of like asteroid. As soon as you guys exit out of hyperspace here you are immediately receiving a transmission.
Okay.
Chandra will answer the transmission.
The transmissions, you hear the transmission opens. You hear, this is the Oasis mining facility. State your business.
Let me go back here and look. They don't know her name, so I'm definitely not going to use her name. I don't know if they know Risa Timbor, though. She'll say, "This is Chandra. I'm here on behalf of your partner to see why production has ceased."
They on the comm you just hear, which partner?
See, now I don't know which name to use.
Voda's
They
gonna,
know Risa.
Voda's gonna move forward and not lean into view, but lean in towards Chandra and say, the Red Dawn. That was it. That was the name, right?
Well, Red Dawn runs the place.
Right. So say the Red Dawn.
that
And
should-
hopefully take the help action with whatever deception check she's about to make.
So wait. So I just
Red-
want to be clear. You're saying that you're here with their partner. They ask you what partner, and you're gonna say you want her to say Red Dawn. It's Red Dawn on the phone.
They are on the phone, yeah. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying. I'm deciding if I want to say Alia
okay.
or
I'm tracking.
Risa
I'm tracking. I
Timbor.
thought it was just some fucking general miner guy working there. You know, we could, deception our way and saying we're the big bosses.
Chandra's gonna say, "Does the
Never
name Risa Timbor ring a bell?"
You're with the what is it? You're with the Pelor company.
Hellor Company.
That's like one of her many. I guess like it's not an alias, like it's an actual company, but it's like one of her scapegoat companies. Yeah.
It's kind of a shell company,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Okay. Chandra will say, "Yes."
Yeah, that one.
Oh, well,
Please don't let them open fire on us.
the voice says, "Well, mining operations are down for now. So if you're here for a shipment, you'll have to come back another time."
Chandra will say, "Very well, but can we at least land and take a moment to refuel before we head back out?"
The comms go quiet for a while, and then he comes back and says, like it clicks back on. Sure. Move to docking station 2. And
She just kicks the seat and she says, "Station 2."
All right.
You just wait. All right. Good luck.
The transmission ends on their part. Kiki brings the ship around. I need you to roll piloting for this part. With advantage because you still have Kiki, or not Kiki, you still have Bimo as your co-pilot.
Oh, BMO. All right, piloting.
Does Bimo have like any proficiency with piloting?
9.
Okay, then just
Yeah,
roll
I don't think-
advantage. Okay,
All right. Well, hey. Whew.
pretty steadily, Kiki brings the ship around. The sort of like butt section of the ship, like this part over here, you see as she backs the ship up, and from the station, you hear sirens as a tube reaches out through space and connects into your ship as she backs it in. You hear the ringing of this sort of like alarm until you hear like a lock in place. And you hear as the ship sort of powers itself like the engines itself sort of like cut off, and you guys have successfully docked with the Oasis station.
Chandra, saying it's a pretty smooth landing, much better than the takeoff. She'll stand up and she'll say, keep flying like that, and you all might get even more of a reward out of this.
Kiki will reply, yeah, I think I'm getting the hang of it. I mean, given this is like really the first time I fly. Haha.
She's like, yes, well, maybe you should consider teaching that droid how to fly. And then she'll spin out of her seat and look at everyone, and she say, well, let's go. And we will head to Chandra will head to the ramp. I guess everybody else will do whatever they do.
Luma does follow behind, and she.
Oh no, you have to exit over here. Like.
Yeah, no airlock. See, that's what.
Oh yeah. Airlock. Yeah. We just fucking open the door and float.
Luma follows behind and like sensing that something's up. Like she's like already sort of her shoulders a little bit, and she has like a hand on like the hilt of her axe on the back, sort of just like resting it there casually for now. But you know.
Yeah, beneath the cloak on her right side, Chandra's holding her other main lightsaber in hand.
Okay.
I guess I'll just have to. Well, I'm assuming that I don't have to lock the ship or anything.
So
Can we just say I have a data pad that can do this type of stuff for the ship?
To like lock it back. Yeah. Like you guys, or Chandra would have the means to like lock down the ship.
Then I'm not
Alright, so
worried.
she'll do that as we leave. Beep, boop, bleep, bloop, blop. And then, yeah,
Bop, bop.
we are heading off.
Okay.
What do we see?
All right. Give me 1 second here. All right. Stepping aboard, you guys walk through the sort of like tube panel as you guys, space literally like just a few cylinders past you. You guys step onto the Oasis sort of like orbital station. You can hear a number of like voices and rambunctious sort of like activity around. But what immediately gathers your attention is an armed, uniformed individual wearing a sort of like red helmet with a circular, sort of like black circle on his helmet. He sees you all and he approaches and he says, "You're the representatives from Pelor, right?"
Chandra will step forward. Yes, indeed I am, and this right here is my traveling company to keep little old me safe.
Little oh, you say.
Roll. No. Alright. He sort of like nods and he says, "Follow me then." And leading you all through, he sort of like guides you through these sort of like tight quarters here, past this sort of like hallway. Yeah, he comes around here, stopping next to this sort of like entryway, this sort of like door. There's like 2 doors here. I wouldn't say that's a door. So oops, that. But this is a door right here, and he says, "Go inside."
Chandra just, very, very tight operation you run here, I see.
He just kind of like nods his helmet, letting you inside. As this door opens, let me reveal what it is. As this door opens, you're a waft of like a smell of like cooked food and refreshments. You can smell like you can hear like a kitchen cooking up with various meals and supplies. And you can see a ton of like conversation and like rambunctious bets are being placed, or just a ton of different people having a ton of different conversations, but they all seem to be in this sort of like guard, which save for a few who like a few of these women you see in their company, all just kind of like nervously laughing at jokes and awkwardly looking away. Seeing you all though, you can see they hesitant to sort of look in your direction. On the far end though, you see two individuals at sort of like the largest booth in this establishment, and you can see them. You can see one is sort of like lounging on this sort of like couch. You can see he is a Gungan, and he's a Gungan sort of like spread out against this crowd. You can see he has a terrible scar going across his face. He's missing an eye, and he's wearing pretty much like the same sort of outfit as all these other individuals in here, just minus the helmet. And by his side is another sort of strange sort of alien who is pointing a sort of blaster at the back of this Bothan male who begins to speak. You over as you walk in, you overhear their conversation, and the Bothan says, "Please, you can't blame us. We're trying everything we can, but we can't get the mind back under control. The more we throw at them, it's like the more show up." You hear the Gungan hold out his hand, and he simply says, "Do Misa look like Misa want to hear excuses? We have been waiting 10 moons for you all to get this operation back under control. Misa thinking you don't want to work for Red Dawn no more. Misa think you'd rather float." He the Bothan kind of turns to this alien sort of behind him who's got the gun pointed at him, and you can see this sort of crooked smile come to his face, revealing extremely sharp teeth. The alien behind the Bothan, it says, "Just say the word, boss." "No." He puts out a hand. He says, "You should be making the miners work better. You should be making the miners work bomb bad good. You're worth more to me alive than dead. But make no mistake, Miss, if you do not produce results for me, Misa will have to find someone else to get those miners in line. Do you understand, Misa?" The Bothan says, "Yes, we'll keep trying." "Then you had best get back to work then." The alien holsters his gun as the Bothan slowly starts to back up. "Just thank you," and vanishes from sight. The alien holstering his gun goes to step over towards the Bothan, sort of sitting on the edge of the table, noticing the Gungan, and noticing you all come in. The Gungan sees you all. The escort who brought you in here, the escort who brought you in here, coming up from behind you all, just pointing over in his direction.
Chandra looks at him. She's like, "Well, thank you, good sir," and she gives him a firm pat on the shoulder, and she walks away.
Okay. trying not to. It's a lot here. All right, I'm trying not to repeat too much. But okay.
Chandra,
Oh, go ahead.
she'll walk up and she'll say, "You must be in charge here. I'm here on behalf of our mutual friend, Risa Timbor," and she'll just slide into the seat next to him without even waiting.
The two sort of like exchange glances at one another as you sit down, and he leans over to you and he says, "We shall be telling Timbor. We shall be telling Timbor that the mines are not working so well. We should told her we needed more time. We should told her we'd let her know once we got things under control." He looks at you and he says, why have you been coming here?"
Chandra just, raises two hands like, "Well, I mean, no disrespect, but it would appear that Risa felt you might need a little assistance with getting those mines under control, so I've been sent here as her representative with my escort." She'll gesture back at the others. To
Luma immediately starts like not like super obviously, but she definitely like and like her like biceps are like really flexed. And she just stands there with her like arms on her hips, like
is flexing casually.
Just very
Casually,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
nonchalantly.
Chandra just noticing what she's doing. She's like, "That's yes, my sturdy escort. We're here to see if you needed any assistance with getting these mines under control."
Looking at you and your crew here, the Gungan and the alien sort of like look at each other before turning back towards you. The Gungan goes, "And Husa is Yusa."
Ah, rude of me. Of course. I am Chandra. As I've mentioned, I'm the representative for Risa. You could think of me as her in this specific instance.
Chandra, as he holds out a hand towards you. Misa name Tolgar. In this here is my right hand, Spiker. Lady. She just kind of like bobs the head towards you before looking at the rest of your crew. Did you shake his hand?
Yeah, I was just typing that down. Togar and Spica. She'll extend her hand and shake his. She'll yes, a little hesitantly because she thinks she's better than him. She'll like yes, nice to meet you. And the other one says lady, and she'll just look at him and she'll say, fellow, and give him a little nod.
Togar looks to you and he says, "It's a use of thinking you might be of some help. Misa won't be stopping you. But these problems are not Belor problems. Misa Red Dawn here. Misa handle our own problems just fine."
Now is the time to reinforce the fact that their failures are inconveniencing you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's where I was trying to go. I just wanted to type something. Chandra just, well, once again, no disrespect intended. But as this has slowed down production, it has come to affect Risa, which in turn makes it her problem now as well, and she just can't have that. So, here we are to clean things up and get this show back on the road. And she's got like a fake, like big fake smile on her face, like yeah.
Okay. they sort of like exchange glances, and Spiker stands up and walks off.
Okay, but it was definitely about to stand up as well.
Spiker walks off, and Toka sort of like leans over in his seat and says, "Oh, we can't be having that, can we? Very well. You don't look like you could be of much help, but if you want to."
her face just like clenches a little bit at that.
But if you're thinking you want to give it a try, Misa won't stop you. The miners, they be talking about strange things. The droids no longer work. The mines take everything. The more we send in, the fewer come back. We just started even sending men. But we have not reached, no men has come back that we've sent in to explore. Looking at you, he says, but if you have a death wish, then Misa won't be stopping you. He gives a nod to a few of the individuals in this room, and he says, we will let you do this. We are eager to hear if you can overcome whatever it is that be stopping the miners, whatever bomb that thing be in the mines. He stands up, looking towards you. He says, "Now, if you excuse me. Now, if you excuse me, Misa has other things to do."
Chandra just nods and let him go about his business.
He walks up, gives a nod to the rest of you all. He looks out towards his men who have kind of like quieted down since you okay, men. And he says, he just kind of like snaps his fingers, and like everybody goes back to like their regularly scheduled conversation before they moves out. So now I will reveal a little bit more of this map. Give me a second. It's a lot. But yeah, no. So now with the you guys have been given permission to go down into the mine. Whether if you guys want to like head straight there, if you guys want to like get some more information before heading down into the mine, it's all up to you guys. What do you guys want to do?
I just like she unflexes a little bit. She's a little a death wish. He says, "Boss, let's go straight there. I'm very hard to kill."
Chandra just looks at her in her gigantic frame, and she's like, "Yes, I'm sure you are, but I'd like to see just, if maybe anyone has a little more information than people that go down there don't come back."
Luma
God
like
damn it.
rolls her eyes a little bit, but crosses her arm like, "Sure, let's do more of the talking stuff."
God damn it, my knee-jerk reaction was like, let's get more intelligence! Fucking hell.
Easy there, Delcor, you're not even here.
No,
Chandra will walk out this way, because that's where oh boy that was talking was, but there doesn't seem to be any signs of him anywhere out here.
Are you looking for like
The dude they had the gun to.
Oh, Spike.
His
Oh, yeah, no. He.
Not Spike.
Yeah, the guy he was
the
aiming.
Bothan. Yes.
Yeah.
The Bothan.
Chandra will just go to the first guard she notices and say, "Why, hello there."
He turns to you. Clear, like, annoyance in his tone. Yes.
He's like,
what can I do for you?
She's like, "Yes, Chandra, charmed, I'm sure. I was looking for what was the species? Bothan."
Bothan. Yeah.
She's like, "I was looking for a Bothan gentleman that just came out of that room. Have you seen where he went?"
He kind of like scoffs. He says, "Only Bothan on this mining facility is Regis. He's down there with the rest of those miners. Not getting our credit."
Chandra's like, "Down there?"
He points towards the like this circular section here. This sort of like contraption is kind of like a drop that takes you down to the surface of the asteroid. It's like think of it as like a tubed sort of like elevator that goes down through space down to the asteroid.
Got it. She's like, "Well, you've been quite helpful. You deserve a raise, good man. I'll put in a good word for you."
Please do.
And she'll turn and walk away without ever getting his name.
Yeah, he just goes about his post and starts like walking around and stuff like that. So are you guys headed straight there?
I don't know. There's a lot of space here. There could be something useful, but I think everybody, myself included, kind of itching to just see what's going on down there.
It's up to you guys talk about it.
Yeah, Chandra will convene with the team. She's like, "Well, we have very little information, and the only people with information are already down there. So,
Oh, let's just get going, Chandra. The sooner we finish, the sooner we get back, the sooner I get paid."
that's probably the only thing that you all have said that I can agree with."
Direct action is probably best now.
Chandra just looks at him and she just, "Oh, you."
You sure you
No
know
emotion. No emotion as usual. Let's go. And she'll just, like, give him a wide berth as she goes around him.
Fucking fuck!
I was gonna say
Voda
no
will-
quick. What?
I was. Voda will rotate as she walks around him and then follow.
All right, we will head to the this tube lift shaft thing, and as we head down, I'm gonna head to the bathroom.
Okay.
Unless there's somebody like some interaction that's about to happen first.
No, it's just describing the descent.
Okay. Well, I will let them. I'll willingly miss that. I'm gonna go use that.
All right, I got you. So as you all sort of like gather on this sort of like circular disc, there's a as like the outer ring closes up as you guys are all inside it, kind of like vents the seal, I guess is the best way to put it. And it's like glass, or it's like a see-through translucent material around you. It's not glass per se. And you all, there's like a flash of red lights before you all start to descend. There's a really like feeling of like butterflies on your stomach as you go like fall down through what has got to be, like maybe hundreds of feet.
It's like giant drop.
Yeah, like it's literally like a gyro drop as you guys go all the way down into the asteroid. You actually go a little bit lower. Like you don't just land on the surface, you actually go a little bit into this large sort of like asteroid, and until you guys reach the bottom, and the the sealment sort of like opens up from opens up from around you all.
All right.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Somebody whistling?
I think
Probably
you're
my
hearing
switch.
her switch.
Judge me.
Stepping down now off of this sort of like platform, you guys reach the lower level of the oasis. Right here down in the sort of like the mines themselves, you hear like the sound of machines at work grinding stone, and this sort of like consistent automated sort of like process. You can hear the sparks flying as you see small spider-like droids walk over these sort of like transport ships, repairing and refueling. As you see larger, sort of more like humanoid bipedal droids as they come over to a station, squatting down and having these sort of like miners come up and sort of like plug them into a system to like refuel and recharge them. Of course, also around you all, there's also a number of these Red Dawn individuals, armed, sort of like surveying the place, walking back and forth, making sure these miners are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing.
All right. Well, Chandra will step out to the first unique-looking individual she notices and head their way. Just kind of stop in between them and say, "Excuse me, hello."
Yeah. What can I do for you? You see this completely like soot covered miner male was just like working on this ship. He's got like grease across his, well, not soot, it would be like grease across his face and hands and clothing. He's a dirty boy.
She'll say, "I'm here to help you all with your problem in the mines. Where's anyone that can give me information?"
Voda will lean in. The foreman.
The foreman. Yes, I'm glad I thought of it.
He sees you all. Like he listens as you say that, and as you wait for him to respond, he kind of like looks at you all, and then his gaze goes over towards like one of the nearby sort of like Red Dawn guards here, and he says, I'm sorry. Who are you folks?"
Ah, silly me. I'm the person that's going to solve this whole problem. Chandra. I'm here to help Red Dawn ensure that they can get back on track with things.
So you're one of them. I see. I'm sorry. I didn't know. Regis is who you'll want to talk to. He's just passed that way. And he points off into this direction. And he says, I don't know if you guys like this direction.
Yeah.
Yep,
Mhm.
saw that.
And he says, he's the foreman. He'd have everything you need. I'm sorry again. I didn't know you were one of them.
Chandra just, it's fine. She'll walk up and like give him a firm slap on the shoulder. Also, it's her trend on this here asteroid. She'll be like,
your hand is covered in grease.
she won't notice that at first. She'll slap him on the shoulder and she'll be like, loosen up a little bit, and then she'll look at her hand and be like, you have a rag, preferably clean one.
He starts to fumble like around, and he realizes, and then he like he takes out a rag. It's It's not by any stretch of the means like clean, but it's like it's not a clean rag. And he hands it over to you, and he says, "I'm sorry, I only have this."
Chandra just looks at it for a moment. She's like, I appreciate the thought. And she like holds her greasy hand out and just kind of tries to like shake the grease off of it while she walks this way.
Okay. Start to walk, splittering stuff everywhere. It doesn't get on. It definitely doesn't get it all off. Like grease.
Oh,
grease
I know.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
He knows.
As you start to move this way, these large sort of almost kind of look like military grade doors open up as you guys walk through. You can see a number of droids around here, just lifting crates, sort of like
As
assist.
they're walking, Chandra just looks at Lumen. She's like, "Well, I bet with your frame, you do wonders in a mine."
But you may be right, but I was never meant to be stuck under the ground working for someone like these Red Dawn people.
That's
I'm
right.
much better off being self-employed.
Yes, you strike me as the type that's fit to fight. And she'll like hold out her hand for like a high five or a handshake or whatever. She's like,
Luma
huh?
does not reach for your greasy hand.
Shut up. Just holds it.
Leaves you hanging and just like laughs a little like, nice try, you're funny, I like you.
She's like, you're a little smarter than I'd hoped. Than I'd expected. No offense.
She just
And before she can respond with any words of disappointment, Chandra will step through the door and just go around these people.
okay.
And she'll stop and say,
Okay.
saying there's another path or several paths ahead. She'll say, excuse me, you
Yes.
person, where can I find Regis?
She looks. What's it to you?
Please. Please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was talking. She looks. She as you approach, she just says, "Yes."
She's like, yes, you. Where can I find Regis? It's very important, time sensitive. We have to be on our way.
Looking at you all, she just like. She just kind of like shrugs and she says, "Right, he's right in there. Well, at least should be." She like reaches down and lifts up like this pretty like large crate. She points right over here. And she goes over to next to this droid and just like drops it down, wiping the sweat off of her.
Chandra's just like, thank you. Keep up the good work. And she turns and heads into this room.
Okay. The door opens up as you approach. You hear let me reveal the space here first. Okay. The door opens and you hear them. You overhear them speaking. You hear Regis. He says, "Well, that's excuse me. Well, that's not good enough. Send more in there. We have to find them and get them out." The man he's speaking to, he says, "We've tried. More and more people. More and more droids go in, but they don't go out. We can't do anything, sir. He starts shaking. He starts like rubbing his head, kind of like brushing the fur on his forehead. He says, "We're losing more money each day, and I'm running out of excuses for them." Is that when you? I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
was
you were going to say
gonna say.
anything when you walk in.
Yeah, I was gonna say as
entrance.
Chandra hears that much, she says, "Well, perfect for you. I've got a solution."
What is this? He turns towards you. Well, he says, I don't know who you are, but you're not supposed to be in here.
She holds out her greasy hand and she's like, Chandra, I'm sure you're pleased to meet me. And she just like smiles and waits for him to take it.
He looks at you and he looks at your hand and he looks at you and he says, "This is a restricted area. Why? Who are you all? Why are you here?"
But ignoring that she ignored his handshake, she'll step a little closer and place a hand on her shoulder, kind of rub it around a little bit, and she'll say, as I said, I'm Chandra. I'm here to solve your little problem here in the mines that seems to be slowing down production for my organization. And once she feels like her hand's dry enough, she'll kind of slowly just drag it off of his shoulder and check it, and then let it hang at her side again.
The grease slowly filters down. It's not clean to say like by any means, but it it's real dirty. Yeah, like it's dirty now, and so like your hand is now free most grease. It's still a little bit blackened. He looks at his shoulder and looks at you and he says, I have no idea who you are, but what are you talking about? Here to help with our problem? I wasn't told of this.
She's like, you're very critical for a man who had a gun pointed at his head recently.
He looks at you and he says, so are you with Red Dawn? As he looks around at the group.
I'm with their partner. They produce things for us. So you work for them, they work for us. It's one big happy family. But since you all can't get in that mine, there's been no production, and my boss is very not pleased with that. So I'm here with my lovely escort. She'll gesture back to everyone else. To make sure that problem is no more.
The Bothan, or Regis, shakes his head and says, Tolgar only works for himself.
That's what Tolgar thinks.
And he goes and he looks to you and he says, the mines have been shut down for a while now, a few months. If you say you're here to help, then take it. We're running out of options. He says, I don't know, how much do you know?
Well, the extent of my knowledge of the situation is that people go in, or droids and people go into that mine, and they don't seem to come out. That's why I'm here to speak with you and see what you know.
He shakes his head and he says, I don't know too much. Since it all started happening, after the first incident, we shut the mine down. We haven't sent more people in, but all the droids we send in since the incident have not returned. He looks to you all and he says, I spoke with a few of the few survivors that from the original incident. He spoke of just a flashing, blinding light attacked them. Before they knew it, they were either missing limbs or knocked unconscious. The few that were able to get out of the tunnels of time told us to lock the place down. It was a hard call, and we lost many men that day. But I chose the safety of our entire operation. And those who couldn't make it, their lives are on my hands. But he looks to you and says, but I personally have not been in the mine since this incident has happened.
Chandra's like, I see. And where's the entrance to this mine? Where are those survivors at?
He points and he says, the entrance to the mine is to the west. Those my men control the doorways, and those Red Dawn guarded to make sure no one else goes in and out. Those individuals, we have an infirmary topside, and those that are still with us are recovering there. But the incident has changed them. Some of them still in a coma, while others have almost completely lost their minds from the incident.
Chandra just, tragic. Well, if that's the extent of the information you all have, we will be going. I look forward to a happy celebration once this is all sorted out.
Wait. See,
Yes?
he reaches out to you and he says, you say Togar works for you, yes?
Chandra will hesitate and say, yes? Why?
Then please speak to him about our work conditions here. We've been, ever since the Red Dawn have come and taken over, we've been worked to death here. The Republic has abandoned us out here, and we've had to do everything they say in fear of being killed. But what's the point if we're just working ourselves to death anyway? Please, if what you say is true, please, I ask that you speak to him and give us some sort of leniency. My men can't keep working in these conditions.
Chandra will just pause for a moment. Very well. I'll speak with him and see what I can do. Thank you for your information.
Of course. He kind of just like nods to you, and he looks over as you walk off. He looks over towards one of the miners. He says, "Go get me a rag, son."
Chandra just strolling on out of there. Now that we know where we're going, no point wasting time. We're gonna head straight on over here.
Whee!
Unless anyone has any objections.
Does anybody have any objections?
Luma, no, just along the way Luma goes, and she like cracks her knuckles a bit, and she's like, huh, seems pretty easy. There's something in here that needs their ass kicked, and then we can be on our way.
I like the way you think.
Okay.
We are now heading here.
As the guys come to the cave entrance. Alright, over here. And you see a number of droids just doing sort of like manual labor in here, just lifting crates and boxes as they move around. Seeing you all approach, the Red Dawn soldier over here comes right up to you and like holds out a hand and he says, "Stop! Mine's closed. You all know that."
Chandra just, I'm sure for everyone else it is, but not for me.
Looking at you, he says, "Yeah, no, mine's closed. Whatever in there has been killing anything we've sent in there."
Chandra is taking a step forward anyway, will say yes. And I'm going in there to kill that.
Were you going to say something, Amber?
We can roll with this. Keep going.
Okay. The soldier kind of like cocks his head and he puts something to his ear. Or he puts a finger to like his ear, like pressing a button on the side of his helmet. "Yeah." All right. Hey, I get their stuff.
Mm.
Okay. Right. You want to go in, right?
Chandra just looks at him. Yes, we are going in.
Shit.
Cheh.
Hey, let these through. Let these people through. Are you sure that? Let them through. Right. He hears this minor, nervously types of something. You hear as the walls of the open up. The Red Dawn just kind of like steps to the side and he says, as you all walk by, he looks to you. He looks to you, Voda, and he says, "Nice suit."
Voda.
He just looks at him and passes. As you walk by, he just cries out, "Don't get it too danged up for me."
Luma's gonna take a moment to like walk right up to this guard, like uncomfortably close, and she's probably like a little bit taller than him.
Jesus.
Glowering down. And she goes, "I don't like you. I suggest you make yourself scarce when we come back out.
Scarce.
I'd like to intimidate him."
Roll intimidation.
Can
then.
Woo!
Oh my god, that
Damn,
29?
10.
Sweet Jesus.
That's
But okay.
pretty bad intimidation.
Okay, 17. Right. I'll make sure the shift change goes a bit early. God, you're massive.
As Chandra
Uh,
follows. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Luma just slaps him on the shoulder, but like really hard, like so that like his shoulder like shudders a little bit, like good idea. And she'll follow her new friend Voda into the mine.
New friend.
Chandra will.
Yay, new friend.
Oh, God. Kind of like just rubs and like rolls his shoulder. What type of beast was that?
Chandra just walks up to him as she heads in, and she'll pat him on the shoulder with her still somewhat greasy hand. Nice firm hit.
Seriously.
And she'll say, I would trust her to hold good to her threat there. It wouldn't be pretty if you were here when we came back out. But good luck on getting our stuff." And she'll like slowly drag her hand off, wiping the last of the grease on him.
Oh God, he's more like crumpled to like one side now. He's like struggling to like straighten out. Ugh. Good riddance. As you all walk by, he just whispers that under his breath. As you guys enter into the gate, Jesus, we are flying through.
Where's something I can hit?
I want to hit something.
We smash things now.
No smash.
Oh no, please make that your catchphrase.
I'll think about it. I don't think it's really cool enough. Sorry.
Okay.
Thought about it.
Luma Crush.
As you guys enter into this mine, I need you all to roll perception checks for me.
I should probably bring up.
Miss having perception already.
Unfortunately, the
perception
fearless
check.
leader has perception.
Let's see. Do I even have BMO sheet open? I do. Wow.
Road is perceptive too.
Perception.
Voda's head starts scanning the area, and you can swear you can almost hear it go.
It accidentally gets put on sprinkler mode. Oh!
Shut up!
Oh my god.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
As you guys step in, a number of you, except Bimo, who is just like playing in the dirt. The walls in here are kind of like coated in this sort of like red dust. Like the stone and the dirt here is all like of a reddish color. You guys notice like abandoned pieces of equipment here and there, and you see a number of like slayed or dead miners laying throughout this sort of like area here. Voda and Chandra, though, I will say Voda, as you walk in and you see this sort of like, as you walk in and you see this sort of like area, you swear for a moment you saw a faint like flicker of light coming from this direction. Chandra, you thought you saw one coming from this direction.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So one goes that way, one this way.
Chandra will step forward and say, I think I noticed something over there.
Interesting. I thought I saw something over there.
Chandra
With
just-
with a practice action, Voda will reach his left arm behind his back, slap it to that weird protrusion from his arm, and an expanding heavy shield will attach to his arm.
It expands out, taking its full large size.
Chandra just kind of takes a step back, like, "Whoa, that didn't expect that." But
Voda will look at her, and then look back towards the area he thought he saw a light.
she said, "Well,
Luma just like chuckles a bit as she steps up and she like takes her axe down like, well, looks like we have a fight nearby already. Lead the way.
Chandra's like, "Yes, indeed we do," and she'll kind of throw a cape over her shoulder and she'll say, "After you, Voda, we'll go with your robot eyes first."
Again, Voda will look at her, and then say, "One moment, I want to check the bodies."
Chandra just, "Oh, for the love. Fine, check the bodies." She'll.
I would like to see what killed this thing.
Roll medicine. Ooh.
Ooh.
Nice.
Looks
dead
like this
already.
dead man is dead.
Chandra, you walk
That's
over
pretty
and you see this like slain miners kind of like sprawled out. He's definitely dead. Voda, you kind of like crouch down to this slain woman, and you notice what exactly has happened here. You see across her back, she has a large sort of like gash wound. But what's strange to you is the flesh like around it is almost like reddish. I guess that's the best way I can like put it. It's like it's been like damaged in some sense. And when you look around and you look at her eyes are completely like burnt out.
Smoky.
And when you see that, you realize like her skin are kind of like it's like really badly like sunburned.
Do I know the nature of the weapon that killed her?
You look at it, you can't think of any type of weapon that could have possibly done this.
Chandra just starts walking back. Well, they're definitely dead. What did you find?
Okay. Voda stands up and will gesture to the large gash on her back, unsure of what caused this. Also, her eyes were burnt out. Highly unusual. We should be wary.
Yes, well, everyone, try not to get your backs cut open or lose your eyes. Let's carry on.
You guys are headed this way.
Yes.
Guess so.
All right. Stepping ahead.
This.
Stepping ahead. You guys notice a sort of like fork in the mine. So, there we go. Fork in the mine. You can see up against the wall. You can see a slumped sort of like droid that's just laying there.
Oh.
Voda pays it no mind.
Kiki sees a droid. Kiki runs up to the droid.
Okay. Roll technology for me.
Okay.
Ooh.
Damn.
The first natural 20 of the fucking campaign. Oh my god. Okay. Going up to Kiki, you look at it, and while you can see that it doesn't have any external like damages to it, but it is completely devoid of power. Completely.
Okay, interesting. I guess Kiki will say or yell out, "Weird! This droid doesn't have any power, as if it's been trained."
Chandra will say, well, that's very strange.
And then Kiki will turn to Bimo and say, "You stay close to me."
Yes, don't let our co-pilot get drained. Chandra will look at the split paths and, I guess, see which... Oh, maybe not see which one is better.
Let's see.
Well, Voda's been, I don't know, watching these two paths, I guess. What does he notice?
23. As you walk up, you can you swear for a moment. Again, you swear you see a flash of light coming from this direction. But as you go to walk that way, you are out of the corner of your eye. You see a bright flash coming from this way as well. While the one in this direction was more of like a faint flicker, the light coming from here was sudden and quick. Like it was like a big burst of like of light that you saw.
Chandra walks up behind him. Well, Voda, notice anything?
Another faint glow from this direction, and a quick flash of light from this one.
Thinking back
Could be
to
walking into an ambush.
Yeah, thinking back to Regis's words, she'll remember that they saw a flash before they were attacked. She'll say, everybody be on guard. Voda might be right. We could be walking into an ambush right now.
Well, you better put me in front then. And Luma just taps her axe against her hand and walks up. Don't worry, you can shield most of yourselves behind me.
Chandra's like, yes.
Voda looks from her to his shield, unsure if she can actually fit behind his shield.
She is pretty big.
She is pretty big, but...
Well, between the two of you, I'm sure you will both keep me protected. Go ahead.
Well...
And
let's
Bimo!
let's bring this ambush. Watch our backs.
Okay. So you guys are moving forward.
Yeah, I think
What-
this one.
Gonna go down this path.
Check first.
Okay. What is the walk order? Is it Voda and Luma in front?
Mhm.
Okay.
They requested it. Chandra's. I'm not a hero. What? Y'all want to go first? Go first.
Okay. So you two in front, or excuse me, you two in front as you.
Chandra will be behind them.
Okay. Kiki, are you behind Chandra?
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys go by, you hear a very strange noise. It's almost like it sounds like a. If you had to compare it to anything, it almost sounds like the hum of like a ship engine, like that pulsing flow of energy. You guys come upon this scene. You see a droid. As it stands there, bugging out, completely like shaking and trembling, as a bright sort of like light envelops it. This white sort of like yellowish light. And as you look downward, you can see another droid suffering similar acts. And as these droids sort of like short out, you can see the lights in their eyes just completely go out. And the lights absorbing them, or this like yellowish white light around them, starts to fade and dim, showing what was beneath. You see these large sort of like insectoid like creatures, almost like large larvae or spiders with legs that are razor sharp, as their bodies seem to like generate or like produce this like very brightish light that flares up as they walk around their as they walk around on walk around these droids, their lifeless sort of like bodies slumping to the ground, and you hear a screech, and that is what we'll pick up next week.
Oh man!
Star Wars
I wanted to whack something.
I was ready. I got my
Don't
character
hit
sheet
something.
out. I was like, "Oh, guys, I have advantage on initiative."
We gotta hit something.
Next week on Star Wars D&D. Y'all are really trying to hit something this week. Y'all was like,
Yeah.
go. But yeah, okay. Damn, dude, first session done. Oh my god. Hold on, I gotta do the the outro plug. If you're watching this at home, thanks for joining us, and tune in next week for another rousing episode of Star Wars D&D. Take care and be safe.